we are heading towards more and more project-based learning. That's with the academies at Pearl-Cohn, the academies at Stratford, the academies at Haddon with their STEM services. More and more we're going towards projects. More and more we're getting out of the desk and getting more active. And the first question I would like to ask everyone, if we can start with the Thurgood Marshall Middle School students, what was your favorite project from last year?
Well, my favorite project was definitely Project Citizen, because I found that during the project, the teachers gave the students a set of rules, guidelines, and then we just went at it. We did our own work. We led the project. We had to do the research. We picked the topic to do the research first. Then we did the research. We made the conclusions. We put all the stuff on the board. We had the chance to do alternative policies. And for those, I believe you all know what Project Citizen is. And it's just like where you find a project in the community and you find a solution to it. And mine was, we tried to replace textbooks in schools with iPads. And so we had the main policy, and then we had alternative policies, and yes.
Tell them a little bit about how you got started and what you did to go forward or to move forward with your project.
Well, the teacher told us that we had the project, and so they started telling us to think of topics, and we did. So our group, we got together, we said, we want to help make learning more interactive, because some students find that textbooks are boring. So we tried to find an obvious solution to that, and we thought iPads in schools. So we progressed on that, we did research, we found out the prices for each, like iPad for each student. It would actually come out to be cheaper than a whole set of books for each student.
And I think what is, if you're going towards project-based learning, you have to provide options for the student, because not everyone, and where the project that they're working on, provide them options, which was extremely important. And we can go to the next one. Explain to me why you described the project, which was your favorite one, how it was different from when the teacher gives you a set of rules that you have to follow, instead of giving you the option, then to choose your own subject matter. For example, the difference between you're going to do a project instead of a more liberal, more open field.
Well, we feel more open when we have the choice to pick a project and then work more at it, instead of our teacher saying, oh, well, you need to do this project by a set day and it has to be about this and this. We actually have the choice to pick what topic interested us, and that we got to identify it, find the problem, and the alternative policies, and what would happen.
Tell a little bit about your project.
Well, my project was TCAP scores versus report card grades, and we had gotten most of our information from our science teacher, and we found that the problem was most teachers grade students on employability and homework, and then some teachers don't even grade the homework, they just see if you did it or not. So we found that grading students mostly on tests and quizzes would be more effective and give teachers more of an idea of what we needed, to pinpoint what we need help on mostly. And we found out that TCAP scores, our state test scores, most students, like a high percentage, over 50%, score below basic or basic, but on the report cards, they pass with either an A or a D.
I guess we can move on to elementary. Fourth grader, would you like to talk about your project?
My project was the 100 Dalmatians play. My favorite part of the play was the dance and the singing. My favorite part of the Dalmatian play was the dancing and singing.
Could you please tell them why you studied Dalmatians?
Because it was for transformations. Because when they're little, they don't have spots, and when they grow up to be an adult, they start growing spots.
How was it fun? What did you do different than you would have done before when you learned about Dalmatians?
We got to sing and dance.
All right, let's go to the Stratford High School student.
My favorite project was the chicken body farm. Each student in our class, in interdisciplinary/research, we were assigned to 2 chickens, each group, 2 people, and we each took a chicken and we had to choose 1 variable for each to see how bodies decompose. And my partner and I decided to tie up our chickens, stab the chickens 3 times, and place them in a bag. And our variable was to place 1 above ground and 1 underground. And we determined...
They were already dead.
We bought them at Kroger, they were already dead. Our project was to determine which one, like each of us had to choose what was our hypothesis, and also determine which one would decompose faster. And we also had to check what type of bacteria was growing on the chickens, because our project was connected to bacterial morphology, which is determining what type of bacteria actually growing on the chickens. And we found Salmonella shigella was actually on the chickens, which is very harmful to the human body. And we discovered that the chicken underground was decomposing faster than above ground because of the way the bag was overheating it, and the chicken didn't have no surroundings. And we also determined what type of bugs were growing on it by where the bags were. And my partner and I, she was writing observations, and I touched the chicken and digged up. I had to re-dig it, and put it back in, had to clean it up, had to take out the insects, test them. It was really disgusting. But it was more fun for me just because every day in class we sit down, we take out our notebooks and do notes for the whole class period. And I feel like this was the only way all of us actually started like understanding and listening and having more fun with our projects. And within the whole project, we also connected it with math, which is one of the things that was connected to our project, to different subjects in class. And I really loved it, and I can't wait to do it next year when I'm a junior. Really. I want to see what else can we do. Move to another middle schooler, I guess.
Bailey, as you talk, could you please describe what your project was, how you chose your project, and just give us some details about your project?
Okay, so I was a part of a growth group in my school called Art to STEM, and it focuses on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And the focus of the group is to get girls more interested in things like science and engineering. And it's like a group that does many projects within one group. So we went on field trips and did experiments and worked with a software called Google SketchUp. And when we went on a field trip to Advent, which is they remodel and renovate like schools and stuff like that. They asked us to design something in our school just to see what we would do. And they liked our designs, so they challenged us and said, if you can design something, and if it's good enough, we'll remodel it for free. So my group, we split up into groups, and my group decided to do our cafeteria. And we won, and Advent actually remodeled our cafeteria, so it was really nice. And I art to STEM helped me grow in engineering. Like, I want to be a chemical engineer when I get out of college. So I thought that helped me open up. It opened me up to science and engineering.
So I did a project for a social studies fair. It was called the I did it with my friend Gideon. We did the 9/11 project about the tragedy that happened on September 11, 2001. We researched on the computer and we had some options to do. We had options of scrapbook, exhibit, PowerPoint, and I forgot the last one. So me and my friend decided to do the PowerPoint. I liked the PowerPoint because we were able to get in groups to work together instead of just being alone on the computer. So we researched a lot of the 9/11, like who was responsible for it. We researched on Osama bin Laden and how he sent terrorists to hijack the airplanes. And we also researched what got damaged. We saw that the Pentagon got damaged and the Twin Towers.
All right. Now, he had actually brought something. He brought what is that you brought?
Killer whale.
Now, what did you do with the killer whale? What did you study while you was at Haddon College?
Tell them what you learned about the whale.
Now, what does the killer whale do?
In the ocean.
Was it fun learning about the whales?
Yes.
Did you study any other animals? What other animals did you study?
All right, thank you. Well, the project that I've most enjoyed last year was the project that we actually got awarded on, and that was our first Emmy Award for sports broadcasting. And what really made it special was not only do I want to be involved in the broadcasting field when I get older, well, I'm already involved in it, but as I continue my career, it literally involves, it is an industry that involves every subject that you want. It has science, it has math, it has English, writing scripts, preparing, time. It's everything that prepares you for your world in the career field. And that's one subject that allows you to do anything. You can be a spokesperson, you can be a production manager. It has a lot of options, again, options to allow you to do a lot of things. So that was my favorite project from the past year, was doing the sports broadcasting, Pro Cone, and actually winning the Emmy for the best sports broadcast. And speaking on the specific subject areas involved in each of the projects, how did you see the math in your projects? How did you see the science in your projects? How did you see the different subject areas involved in your project? And we can start with the Thunder Lane High School.
It was really connected to math. Well, it connected